everybody, welcome to the channel, Talking with Jay Spring. I'm your host Jay, giving you a video on the channel today. Here we go guys, this is the Doctor Strange movie review. I want to let you guys know on Saturday I'll be uploading my Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie review. We've got to get through the rest of this MCU timeline just before Avengers Endgame, so we're going to be pumping out videos as quick as possible. If you've missed what we've done so far, don't forget the MCU playlist, link will be in the description, a card above my head you can click on, and an annotation at the end of the video you should be able to click on, so you don't want to miss anything in that MCU playlist. There's a ton of other stuff apart from reviews as well, so go ahead and check that out. And without further ado guys, let's get straight into this movie review. Doctor Strange is an action-adventure fantasy movie about 1 hour and 55 minutes long. It was released on the 24th of October 2016. Doctor Stephen Strange's life changes after a car accident robs him of the use of his hands. When traditional medicine fails him, he looks for healing and hope. He quickly learns that he's in the front line of a battle against unseen dark forces bent on destroying reality. Before long, Strange is forced to choose between his life of fortune or leave it all behind to defend the world as the most powerful sorcerer in existence. Let's get on to the good points. Now, this is a very fun and entertaining movie from beginning to end. This brings us a new showing of the Time Stone, which we haven't seen. We've heard about the Infinity Stones. Now, the Time Stone obviously is one of the Infinity Stones. We don't know too much about it, but in this movie, Doctor Strange shows us its use and what he can do with it. The visuals are, oh my god, it's literally the best visuals in the MCU by far. Throughout this journey, this is the best. It is so artistic and creative. It just completely wows you, and it's just a whole new experience. A lot of people I hear have gone to 3D showings of this movie when it came out and went crazy over it. This movie is very comparable to The Matrix and Inception because of its visuals. It just that sort of world where the magic and you're running across walls and stuff like that, the action sequences, it all comes together, and they're very comparable to that and very high in that sort of level. Doctor Strange is a very unique movie. The story of it and the whole character behind Doctor Strange is very unique, and from the beginning of the movie you wouldn't expect Doctor Strange to turn out to be the good guy and the magician and the sorcerer he turns out to be because of his ways. The thing that's unique about this story and this character Doctor Strange is he didn't ask to be put in this situation. He was forced into this situation and he had to make a choice out of the two, and really there wasn't a choice. It was either live or die in a way, and he chose to live and save the world and become a better person as well, and which is a very unique story in the MCU. We have Benedict Cumberbatch coming into this movie, a British genius in the movie industry. He's just so good. He brings this sort of presence on the screen which you're just glued to. You can just see he makes the character worthy. He makes the character more enjoyable. I've never seen no one bring this presence apart from Robert Downey Jr. He's the only other character in the MCU so far that brings this presence to me personally, that I'm just glued to it. He brings this arrogance, this cocky sarcasm, but he's got this cleverness to him and emotional side to him as well. He's got a mixture of emotions like Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. has. Mads Mikkelsen was the total badass bad guy in this movie. He was awesome, so intimidating when he was on the screen. Mordo was a very fun character and enjoyable part of the story. He was very crucial when it came to Doctor Strange starting to become Doctor Strange. Rachel McAdams in the MCU, would you have believed it if I told you? Now, she's in this movie. I really enjoyed her character in this movie. Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One in this movie was very cool. She gave so much depth to the movie and some fun moments in the movie, especially the training sequences with Doctor Strange. This movie expands the MC universe to a whole new level. It brings more of a magic universe and it just makes things a lot more interesting. The bad points. Now, the bad points about this movie is some of the action sequences in terms of the camera work. I found it a bit sloppy. Some of them, like, they were just a bit all over the place, and some things were just slow, and it could have been a bit more MCU-like. It doesn't mean it was terrible, but it just, sometimes I just noticed some things could have been improved, and this was one of the improvements. Even though Mads Mikkelsen's character was so good, he was barely in the movie and sort of got to near enough the third act of the movie and he started to come in it a bit more, and I just wanted to see more character depth for him and a background story and some more dialogue. This movie had so much story to explain from the first act of this movie to the second act. It also caused some pacing issues from that first act. It was just so slow, and because you're trying to get the story of Doctor Strange, it's interesting, but it's so slow. The pacing for me in the first act towards the second act of this movie could have been improved. Some of the humour in this movie just didn't work for me. It felt very forced. And the main bad point and the last bad point is that some of the characters are played by big actors and actresses in this movie. And the bad thing is, these characters that they're playing are so forgettable, especially Rachel McAdams' character. Now, she's some big actress. She's been in films like The Notebook. And it's just like, literally, you cannot forget. You see her and you'd be like, oh, that's Rachel McAdams. She's just one of them big actresses, and she's just playing such a small role, and she's in very little of this movie. And like Mads Mikkelsen as well, he's in very little of this movie, and they could have done so much more with that, and that's what the main bad point about this movie. So guys, it is rating time. Let's have a look at the critics of what they had to rate this movie. We have Rotten Tomatoes giving it an 89%, IMDb giving it a 7.5 out of 10, and Metacritic giving it a 72. My rating for this movie is a 7.8 out of 10, making this a totally awesome movie. This movie, going back and seeing it a second time, was a lot more beneficial. My opinion from the first time to the second time is a lot different. I really think this movie is fun and entertaining. It has some really bad flaws in this movie, but it doesn't affect it that much that it goes under the totally awesome mark. I still see this as a really good movie in the MCU. It's in my top 10 or top 11 at least. And I really did enjoy it, and I really recommend a lot of people go and watch this movie because it is so ambitious, so creative and artistic. It's so enjoyable to watch. The visuals as a whole on its own is just so enjoyable and so worth watching. So guys, a 7.8 out of 10 for Doctor Strange. Let me know your ratings in that comment section down below and your opinions. And don't forget to smash the thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe and hit the bell for much, much more. Don't forget, on Saturday, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie review will be up on the channel. I've been me, you've been you, and I'll see you next time, guys, on Talking with Jay Springer.